Good golly God, what is this? A video? I can talk about my 50 book challenge. I've started a book, and it's a reread, so technically I've already read it. I have an idea. Today, we're just going to take a quick trip down the fairy tale lane. Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. And the Brothers Grimm weren't actually the first, like, the only people to write down the fairy tales, but they did collect a lot of them. But one of the interesting things that I find that we don't have anymore is that fairy tales used to be stories to scare kids. And now, when people say fairy tale, you get this image of a princess who's in distress and the knight or the prince who comes and saves them, or the enchantment and the evil fairy and all of these things, when in actuality, what it really was that if you don't do this, this evil person is going to come and get you. And then with that apple, that actually, it wasn't even poisoned, it just, a piece got lodged in her throat and she went into a coma type thing. And by jostling the coffin around, they dislodged the piece of apple from Snow White's throat, and she wakes up and she's like, what the hell? Just walking along. Poor Snow White has been in a coma for the past year, God knows how many years, and they jostle the coffin and she wakes up because this piece of apple just flies out of her throat. And then it's like, oh, don't worry, we were just taking your body in this glass coffin to the prince's castle. But yeah, fairy tales, not quite what you think. There's the old fairy tales and the new fairy tales, and the new fairy tales are supposed to be the happily ever after, everything works out in the end. And the old fairy tales are these gruesome, disgusting, one of the stepsisters cuts off her toe in order to get her foot into the glass slipper stories. But a question for you, what is your favorite fairy tale? Like, isn't she in a glass coffin? First of all, imagine the piece of apple would just fly out and hit the coffin and slam back into her face. Like, that's gotta wake you up.